when we speak about human rights NGOs that involved in the campaign against Israel, most of the money come through European governments, sometimes directly, sometimes indirectly. The organization, my organization, founded in 2002 by Professor Gerald Steinberg, who is supposed to sit here today. I replaced him. He had a flight to Norway. And the organization established basically because of 2001 Durban conference. Do you know?
A conferência de Durban na África do Sul.
Okay.
A ONU.
Yeah, the UN conference against anti-Semitism, xenophobia, and racism. Unfortunately, in this event marks one of the most anti-Semitic events that happened in the last 20 years. An event against anti-Semitism became anti-Semitic, and this was the turning point. We consider this event as the turning point when 1,500 NGOs came together and decided that this is the time to engage a political warfare against Israel. And we call it Durban strategy. Right? The strategy is saying you cannot win Israel by force, but you can win the idea behind Israel. You can, and I quote, you can make Israel to a pariah state, internationally isolated, internationally boycotted. And from this strategy, from this event, the tactics, we see the tactics today. We see boycotts, we see divestments, we see flotillas, we see flightillas, we see allegations on war crimes, we see lawfare. Lawfare is when you take the international law and abuse it in order to gain a political goal. We see misuse of human rights values. For example, I will give you a personal example. There are a lot of human rights organizations for the Palestinians, or that claim to promote human rights for the Palestinians. Almost none for the Israelis. Like no one. My family live in Ashkelon in the south. It's a small city in the south. Ashkelon.
We saw Ashkelon.
Oh, you saw Ashkelon.
From the border, you could see Ashkelon.
So Ashkelon got missiles from Gaza, I think 12 years. My family lives there. In 12 years, no one human rights organization even cared about that there is civilians and kids under missiles. And this is the idea that we try to fight. The idea of taking for us, human rights is for everyone, no matter if you're Palestinian, no matter if you're Israeli, and it should not be misused or advocate for a political goal. In that manner, I think, and also other researchers and my organization think, that it became an industry with a lot of money, with a lot of employees. Even if you think about it, if you think about how many conflicts we have on planet Earth, how many human rights violations we have, but we almost never saw, for example, anti-ISIS protest, anti-China, anti-Russia, anti-anything. And the reason is the money. The folders I gave to you, focusing on one aspect of it, of the call to boycott Israel. We call it BDS, if you're familiar with it, boycott, divestments and sanctions.
Divestment and sanctions.
Yeah. You will see in the material the funders, who funds those organizations to call boycotts. Unfortunately, a lot of the money comes from governments that are friendly to Israel. Sometimes they know that the money is going to there, sometimes they don't have a clue. And you will see also the part of the activities. why we claim that the BDS movement is not about peace, it's not about coexistence, it's not about bringing Israelis and Palestinians together, but its sole purpose is to boycott, to hurt Israel as Israel. You will find quotes, you will find anti-Semitic quotes, you will find quotes that calling to the destruction of Israel by the leading BDS activists in the world. Added to the fact that the human rights movement since the 19th, since the collapse of the Soviet Union, became very powerful without any mechanism that will, without check and balances. Governments are applied to check and balances. If a government do a mistake, the civilians eventually will, put it down. But who is giving the check and balances on NGOs, especially NGOs like Amnesty and Human Rights Watch, with a budget of $500 million per year? If they doing a mistake, who is accountable? Another example, Human Rights Watch went to Saudi Arabia to raise funds. Saudi Arabia, it's not, let's say it's not the biggest human rights place to raise funds. One of the terms that the Saudis gave to Human Rights Watch was to continue attack or to criticize Israel. To your question, it's a lot of politics, and it's feeding the industry more and more. And now I will take it to the media.
Sorry, are there evidence, real evidence about that?
Yeah, sure. Everything. Just for the record, everything I say or quote, or everything you will see, is backed up, fully sourced. This is the way we work.
Okay.
If there is something that I paraphrasing, I will say before, this is my opinion, or this is what I'm saying. Yeah. About Human Rights Watch, you will find dozens of reports. The reason that one of the co-founder of Human Rights Watch left the organization was the Saudi story. The Saudi and the Libyan story was two different stories. So everything I'm saying is backed up and fully sourced. You can check me, unless I'm saying this is my opinion or my analysis.
So why the world still takes this NGO seriously? Because
this is exactly, you brought me to the part of the media. There is a term that we call the halo effect, meaning when I say to you, I'm a human rights activist, or I'm for animal rights, or for the environment, it sounds good. It just sounds good. You cannot say to a human rights activist that he's doing something wrong. And it's true.
He has a kind of monopoly of virtue.
He's got a halo. Now this halo in the bigger level, in the organizational level, put the NGOs, plus the fact that no one checked them, there's no accountability, put the NGOs on the top of the most trusted sources. And we documented, I think hundreds of times, that serious media outlets quoting NGOs minutes, hours after they said something, without even check. Not because the media is bad, not because the NGOs are bad, because the system works in a way that when an NGO with such halo says something, probably is right.
Seems reliable.
It's reliable. I give one more example. In 2012, Israel attacked in Gaza, and a Palestinian baby was killed in the attack. In the same day, an NGO in Gaza that funded by Europe and Human Rights Watch, I think, or Amnesty, they decided already in the same day. It takes months to investigate such incident. In the same day, they decided that Israel killed the baby. Day after, all the major media outlets in the world talked about the baby that got killed by Israel. 6 months after, a UN investigation found that the baby killed by Hamas. They post-mortem the
total silence.
body, but the damage has been done. the connection between, or the process that the NGO say something, the media not checking the claims independently, and then a process is beginning, then diplomats are affected by it, condemnation against Israel. It's a, we call it the halo effect. Everyone is very affected by the halo, by the image, like human rights as an angels, and this bringing slowly to a frame which the professional or the professional point of view stayed aside, and as much as more, you know, titles and big allegations.
But that doesn't explain why Israel is always the target and also United States, because this bias happens with United States as well.
Yes, I'm telling again. I think, and I'm simplifying it because I can sit hours and explain you from the bigger geopolitics to the balanced forces to the ideology. The ideology is very important. Post-colonial ideology, anti-West ideology, not from Arab point of view, from a Western point of view, a Western anti-Western ideology. But I will simplify it and say that it's very easy. It's just easy. Now, if you have already the industry that's circulating a huge amount of money, huge. You will see the numbers. The numbers are millions or hundreds of millions per year, and you already have the infrastructure, and you have the targets that. It's very easy. Let's be honest. In my opinion, and again, this is my opinion. If you do something to Israel, no Israelis will start to protest all over the world and burn your flag. It's very easy to criticize Israel. We have mechanisms inside the country that we criticize ourselves, and it's good, it's healthy for the democracy. I'm not saying you should not criticize Israel. You can, and it's perfectly fine.
But it's easy and safe. And it's not easy and safe to criticize Libya or China, for example.
Yeah, exactly.